Alright, I was supposed to make this video last week, but I was away at a friend's wedding. Hence, if you've been wondering where I was, that's where. But I wanted to make a video because it is a year since I first made my first video. And I just wanted to thank people. Say thank you for following, thank you for sharing, thank you for liking, commenting. Just thanks for being here, for engaging, for helping share the message. Because obviously I can sit here and talk to a camera, show videos, but it can fall on deaf ears. It can go nowhere unless people actually engage with it, unless people share it with their friends, talk about it, comment on it, like it. Every time someone does that, it pushes it in the algorithm and it shows it to new people who wouldn't have seen these videos otherwise. So I just wanted to say thank you if you're one of those people, and I appreciate you. Now the next thing I want to talk about is where we go. What's the next idea? What's the next solution? It is an information war which we're engaged in. That's why you see a lot of laws in the EU that seek to silence any narrative that goes against the one they're pushing. They disguise it obviously in different packaging. We see this last week where England came out with a safety law which was intended, this is the way they phrase it, to keep young kids from accessing porn. That's how they package it. At the same time that happens, what's actually censored is court testimony about the grooming gangs in England. You have information around illegal immigration, can't even be talked about. You can't access it. So they pretend it's one thing, but the goal is another. So sometimes people go, oh, you're just sitting in front of a camera, you're just talking about things, you're just showing things. Well, that is it. It is an information war. The whole goal is to change people's minds. To say, look, this is what's happening. You make up your own mind if that's the way you want things to be. If we don't show people that, how do you expect them to understand what's happening or actually want change? I don't have to say much in most of my videos. All I have to do is show things happening. For example, a guard was stabbed in Dublin last week. As he was being stabbed, the person stabbing him was shouting Allah Akbar. I don't have to do much in that video. I can just show people it and they can make up their own mind. Anyone with common sense, anyone that's average intelligence or above, can look at a video like that, be like, wait a minute, why is someone in Ireland screaming Allah Akbar while trying to stab a guard? And then it should dawn on people, wait a minute, why are we accepting that? Why are we even in a position in Ireland where something like that might happen? And that's it. That's all we have to do. RTE won't show it. In fact, RTE said it was an Irish-born Irish citizen who did it. Irish-born Irish citizen stabbing a guard. That's the narrative RTE shows. All I do is show what really happened. So that's why I say it's an information war, and it really is just showing people the reality of the situation, letting them come up with their own conclusion. So I'm going to stay making videos like I do. The next goal is, for last year I've been watching the political scene in Ireland, which I thought, okay, so before getting into this, I thought there would have been the right in Ireland, which I would have thought just, they're common sense and we're all one. We're all in the same boat. That is far from the case. And anyone that's not in the scene probably doesn't know this, but it is so fragmented. There are loads of little groups that seem to all have beef with each other. They all seem to have something that happened years ago and they can't get over it and they don't like each other. I didn't know this coming into this scene last year. So I've just been sitting back out of it, watching and seeing who presents the best side, who shows the most competence, and who isn't engaged in all this silly bickering that's happening. And I give them some, look, I'm not too harsh on it. I think at the start of any grassroots movement or any, new political scene, you're going to have fragmentation. You're going to have people angry at each other. But I think over time what you'll have is you'll have one group that stands above all the others, that shows the most competence, that shows the best potential, and they will lead it while all the others will either be forgotten about or have to join up and stand in line. So I'm just waiting for that. I'm seeing who's the best option. I'm going to stay sitting back and kind of just watch. And then whoever is the best, I'll probably put my support behind eventually. But that's still yet to happen. I'm still yet to say, right, this is the one. The other side of what to do next is the commercial side. I think the biggest problem with the right and in Europe, the right in Europe is the money, the monetary situation. The left has all the money. They have all the sponsorships, they have all the funding, whether it's through NGOs, through government. That's where all the money is. So to have real progress in Europe and in Ireland, you need money. And the way to get money is to create companies, create businesses that can compete with the best. You create good products, good companies that provide people what they want. And then those companies can sponsor creators like myself or others around Europe. And we can say, look, if you agree with our messaging, put your support behind this company. And if you think about it, if everyone who agrees with our messaging, who has a bit of common sense, started buying products and goods from these companies, that's what will change the landscape. That is what's going to make people change their mind. When we start ripping our funding and our money away from brands that promote degeneracy, for example, Nike puts out a silly advert that supports trans ideology or supports fat positivity. All of a sudden we say, well, I don't want Nike anymore. Instead, here's an alternative, a European-based company who does just as good products, just as good clothing, who sponsors creators around Europe that support my message. I'm going to go for them instead. We just need companies like that around Europe. That's the idea with Juicebox I'm creating. Juicebox has a great idea behind it. It's very good. It's something I would use, something the person who's involved in it with me would use. And the goal is Juicebox, I can't get sponsorship. So the only way I get sponsorship is if I create my own sponsorship. And that's the goal with Juicebox. Then if Juicebox does well, if it gets people behind it, if people are buying the product, Juicebox can then sponsor creators around Europe who do the same. And all of a sudden the money is slowly flowing to our side. You do that enough times, the whole culture will change. The money will flow to whoever's pro-European, pro-traditional values, pro-family, instead of just nonsense. That's not where we want it to be. So commercial side is a big one. Then it's information, which is what I like to think I'm doing, just showing people the message. But with commercial then, anyone getting involved in the information side, we can start sponsoring that and they start growing together. And with that, the culture grows with it as well. From then, after those two things, I'd like to start a podcast. There's a lot of people that reach out to me that are quite well known and they agree with the message, yet you will never think they would. Never in a million years would I have thought the message I get from people, I'd be like, wait a minute, I wouldn't have thought you thought this way. But if people knew they thought this way, I think it would have a big effect on everyone. Everyone would be like, wait a minute, this is actually... it's a popular idea. The only way to do that is you don't have to put them on the spotlight and shine the lights on and make them say things. Just have a podcast. Say I create a podcast and they can come onto the podcast. We can just talk about their life, where they come from, and the association of being on the podcast with, say, someone like myself or someone else involved in the space will bring people over to our site. They'll realize, wait a minute, it's this side that seem to have the people, that seem to hold the popular opinion. At the end of the day, it's the popular opinion that wins, you know? So yeah, podcasting, you have to do documentaries. There's so many good documentaries. There's stuff happening right now as well, behind the scenes, that will come out in a few years. And that should also help push the narrative. And as all this is happening, you're hoping the culture changes, the attitude changes, and we can bring people with us to hopefully have a better Ireland, better Europe for ourselves, our children, our grandchildren, and actually create the life we want. But yeah, that's the kind of thinking, that's where everything's going at the moment. I just wanted to give people a quick update. It's only a year. I didn't think it would kick off the way it did. And when you're starting this stuff, when I made my first video, it's to 0 people on Instagram. It's to 0 people on TikTok. I told no one I was starting. I just put on a camera, picked a video, and just started talking. And yeah, if anyone ever thought to do it, I'd recommend it. It's needed. People need to see others saying what they think. Plus, now on Instagram, what's nice is, I know this is a long video, but it's nice to see mutual friends. There's so many people I thought would never have thought the way they did. But I go on Instagram, I see, oh, they're following that page. And it's like, oh, I didn't know they thought that way. You start to realize there's so many people out there that think the same way as us. They just need an outlet, really. So yeah, just wanted to say thanks to everyone sharing, liking, commenting. Still a lot of work to be done, but I think we'll get there. I still think it's only the beginning. I'm still very much an amateur. There's a lot I don't know. There's a lot I need to know. But I think in time we'll get there. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for the first year. Hopefully at least another one to go, you know. But I appreciate all of you. Lots of love.